in the case of the Laughing Sphinx. The full moon hung silently in the late-night sky as a cool breeze swept through the grounds of the Gotham City Circus. The last show was over, and all the members of the circus were asleep. Even the animals rested peacefully. It had been a hard day for both man and beast, and all needed a good night's rest. But inside one tent, a light still glowed brightly. Its occupant could not sleep. All he could do was sit and think and stare at the newspaper headlines. Inside the tent, young Dick Grayson, a member of the acrobatic family called the Flying Graysons, knew his circus career was at an end. Earlier that day, there had been a mysterious accident. In the middle of their act, Dick's parents had fallen from the trapeze, and suddenly, Dick was an orphan. Now he needed time to think about what he should do. At first, Dick did not hear the strange sounds coming from outside his tent. But when the lions began roaring angrily, he was startled. He turned to listen. There was a hissing noise, like the sound of air being let out of a balloon. Then the other animals began howling and growling. Cautiously, Dick stood up and peered to the flap of his tent. There were 4 men wearing gas masks. They had tanks strapped to their backs and were busy spraying the animals with some kind of gas. Their masks made their voices hard to hear, so Dick had to listen closely. What he heard shocked him.
When we finish spraying the animals with this gas, the only thing they'll do at showtime tomorrow is sleep.
Yeah, after that trapeze accident and this stunt, the circus owner will give us anything we want.
The more the young acrobat heard, the angrier he became. These men were responsible for his parents' accident. They were criminals, and they had to be brought to justice. Fearlessly, Dick darted out of his tent, surprising the sinister gang. Before they could stop him, Dick kicked one of the criminals to the ground. His years of training on the trapeze had made Dick strong and quick, and now he was foiling the gang's scheme.
You rats! You can't go around hurting people and animals!
He shouted at the gang, but the odds were against Dick. It was 4 against 1, and the young acrobat needed help. Suddenly, out of the darkness swooped the Batman. The crooks were gripped with fear as the dynamic defender of the night descended upon them. Dick could see the anger blazing in the caped crusader's eyes and was thankful for his mysterious appearance.
It's time to stop you criminals once and for all.
Batman!
Let's get out of here.
Wow! Batman! Am I glad you showed up?
4 against 1 are bad odds in anyone's book, but I think this will help even things up a bit.
Batman said as he landed a knockout punch to the leader's jaw.
Go get him, Batman!
Shouted the courageous Dick Grayson. Without a pause, Batman whipped his batarang at another criminal, causing him to slam into one of his partners in crime.
I finally got the goods on you, gentlemen, and you'll all be going to prison where you belong.
Batman said. Dick watched the Batman with admiration. The costumed hero was as graceful as the Flying Graysons. But the Batman was not there to entertain. He was fighting for justice. Dick noticed one member of the gang sneaking up behind Batman. With the grace of a gazelle, Dick jumped up, somersaulting over Batman's shoulder right into the criminal's chest. Batman was amazed. He did not expect a mere boy to be capable of performing such a feat. A few minutes later, the police arrived to arrest the 4 defeated criminals. Batman spoke to Dick, whose head was still spinning from all the excitement.
Son, I've been tracking down that gang for a long time. They were wrecking circuses all over the country. When I heard about the trapeze accident last night, I knew this gang was responsible. I'm sorry I arrived too late to save your parents, but I wouldn't have been able to round up these criminals at all without your help. The animals will rest all day tomorrow, but they'll be all right. What about you, Dick? What are your plans now?
Despite his grief, Dick could hardly conceal the excitement in his voice.
I wanted justice, Batman, and thanks to you, I got it. But now, I'm all alone in the world. My parents are gone. But seeing you in action makes me want to spend the rest of my life fighting crime. Please, Batman, could I help you?
All right, son.
Batman replied.
You deserve a chance after what you did tonight. I warn you, fighting crime is hard work, and you might not be cut out for it, but you'll have to decide that for yourself. Let's go!
Within moments, the Batman and Dick Grayson were riding along the outskirts of Gotham City in the turbo-powered Batmobile. As the cool night air swept by them, the Batman told Dick why he became a masked crime fighter.
You know, Dick,
Batman said,
I was an orphan too. Criminals were responsible for the death of my parents when I was just a boy. I swore then to devote my life to battling criminals wherever they may be. That's why I'm giving you this opportunity.
I won't disappoint you, Batman,
Dick answered. Later, the two arrived at the Batcave, Batman's secret headquarters. All around them were the prizes and trophies he had gathered from years of crime fighting.
It's like a museum,
Dick said, fascinated by the amazing collection. At this, Batman simply smiled and said,
You'll get the chance to look over everything in the Batcave a little later. Right now, and for the next few weeks, you'll be training physically and mentally for the life you've chosen. Let's get started.
True to Batman's word, the next few weeks were painful and exhausting for the young Dick Grayson, but they were also wonderful. Dick fought off his fatigue to do all the exercises Batman was teaching him, and he accomplished them well. The Batman, in his civilian identity of wealthy playboy Bruce Wayne, spent many hours training the young acrobat for the challenges Dick would face as a crime fighter.
Gee, Bruce, we've already run 5 miles. Can't we take a rest?
Just 1 more mile to go, Dick. Then we'll see how well you do on the parallel bars.
As the weeks passed, Dick could feel his body getting stronger and stronger. Each day he discovered muscles he never knew he had. Soon he could lift heavy sets of weights high over his head, where before he struggled simply getting them a few inches off the floor. While Dick's body became stronger and faster, his brain became sharper. His eyes were able to follow the lightning-fast movements of the punching bag. In every respect, he was ready to work with his teacher in the war against crime. Dick knew the time had come when, at the end of a training session, Batman told him,
Now, Gotham City will get its first look at a new, young crime fighter.
That night, Dick sat reading a magazine in the library of Wayne Manor. The article he read was so interesting that Dick did not hear Bruce Wayne enter the cozy room. Bruce held a costume in his hands.
I think that you are ready to wear this costume,
Bruce said.
The only thing you need to decide is what name you will use in your crime-fighting career.
Dick walked over to a shelf and pulled out a book about Robin Hood, a brave man who fought injustice long ago.
Ever since I was a little kid, Robin Hood has been my favorite hero,
Dick said.
So I think I'll call myself Robin.
I think that's a good choice,
Bruce said.
Now it's time to try on your costume.
Moments later, Dick returned to the room. In the shadowy light, Dick hardly looked like a young boy anymore. Instead, he seemed tall, strong, and ready for action. After all these years of fighting crime by himself, the Batman had a partner. And with Robin the Boy Wonder by his side, Gotham City would be a safer place to live.